welcome back to another episode of 4CornerSports. I'm hosting today. My name is Zach Maddock, Brandon Pockers, Gabe Arena, and Austin Kane. Today will be another fantasy episode. First off in the episode, big announcement today. We have found the 12th member for our fantasy league. Took a little bit of time, took a search, found out the candidates we looked, made some talkings. We've settled on Angelo Barron. Angelo was a member of the league previously for a season. He decided not to come back and retired from the game. We were very grateful here that he was willing to come out of retirement and rejoin. Thoughts from you three on what you think Angelo can bring to the league?
I am ready to have him back. The reason he left the league, kind of my fault, Don't have to get too much into that. He was 6-7, his only year in the league, finished 5th place. That was a weird year, and we only had about 4 winning records. And yeah, that's all I got to say about him.
I think Angelo is going to add another heavy hitter to the league where he's going to be locked in. It's going to be 1 through 12. Draft's going to be hard because honestly, I don't think many people are going to fall through the cracks this year like they have in previous years because of some of the lackluster drafting. I think everyone's going to be on their A game this year, and it's going to be a really intense league, and you're going to have to be on top of your stuff if you want to win it.
I mean, I didn't play in the league when Angelo was in it, but I'm hoping there's just better competition.
It's always better when 1 through 12 are as good as it can become. Okay, so next, unfortunately, we're at a time where there's really not that much to talk about fantasy football. And it's tough to, rosters aren't set. We don't know if football's coming back. So we're just going to go through each team and kind of give a player that we think is going to have a good season, really step it up, and just kind of have a better season than they did the year before. First team we have is the Arizona Cardinals. Personally, I think Kyler Murray is going to have an exceptional second year. I think there won't be a sophomore slump. I think Cliff Kingsbury is just going to give the air raid offense the keys to Murray.
I agree. I said last week's fantasy episode that Kyler Murray was my guy to come out and perform this year fantasy-wise, and just better for his team.
I'm probably going to have to go with maybe Christian Kirk, with two great receivers in D-Hop and Fitzgerald. He'll just have many more opportunities.
I'm probably going to have to go with Kenyon Drake. I think that Arizona is going to include their running back in their passing game, and I could see him finishing as a top 15 back on the year based on the volume of him being the number 1 back in Arizona.
Looking at it, just per our league scoring, which is a little different than ESPN standard, Drake actually did finish as the 16th best running back in fantasy football last year, which is impressive with little time he had in Arizona.
I could see a higher finish from him this year than that.
He's by himself now. I mean, besides Chase Edmonds, but
next team on this list is the Atlanta Falcons.
I'm ready to see Julio scoring the red zone this year. I think it's going to happen. I think it's time they finally realize they want to get back to the Super Bowl. That's just what needs to happen. He's the best player on their team. It's just plain and simple. That's what they have to do.
I'll take Calvin Ridley this year. With Julio, and now he's got better back and Todd Gurley. It'll again open up opportunities for him.
I'm going to go with Matt Ryan. I think in a division as tough as this one's going to be, and the Falcons' defense not being all that great, he's going to have to throw the ball a lot. And while he does throw interceptions time to time, a lot of yards, a lot of touchdowns, a lot of high-scoring games.
I'm going to also have to go with Calvin Ridley because I think you could expect a Chris Godwin type year from him, with him exploding onto the scene in his 3rd year and really bolster himself into a top 15, top 10 wide out this season for the Falcons.
Next team staying in this division is the Carolina Panthers.
Bridgewater, baby. It's time to show his back his old form. I think it's ready. He's ready to go. McCaffrey with him.
I can see DJ Moore taking another step. No, I promise not all my guys are receivers.
I mean, looking at the Carolina team, I mean, I want to say Curtis Samuel because of Bridgewater. I feel like will sling it a little more than Kyle Allen or Will Greer, but he could get traded. So in that case, I'll probably have to go with Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson, I think, will have a better year than people are advertising, or he has a chance to have a better year. I mean, I could see wide range of outcomes with him, depending on how Bridgewater plays this year.
Hopping on that, I'm just going to take Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater. I believe that he's just going to come into an offense. I mean, we saw it in flashes last year. He knows the division. He knows what he's doing. I think he should be a solid mid-round QB1 in my opinion.
Yeah, he should be good next year.
Okay.
I already said. I said DJ Moore.
Yeah, I said Bridgewater.
Sorry.
Oh boy.
I'm working the social media at the same time, so that's why you might see me looking at my phone. Trying to get you guys out there so we have more fans noticing us. Next team on the list is the Chicago Bears.
That defense. Fantasy-wise, get back to when they made the playoffs that year, bring them back to the playoffs. Their offense moves slow every year. It's going to happen again. I mean, what do they have? One good receiver? Come on.
Allen Robinson, maybe.
Yeah, the defense got to carry them.
Yeah, probably.
I'm going to stick with a quarterback just because I don't think Mitch Trubisky can get any worse. And with the fact that Nick Foles is there.
You're
so
not
I'm not going to give a player itself, but whoever's leading the Bears offense as the quarterback should have the ability to make some plays.
So
yeah, I'll agree with you there, Maddock. Whoever the quarterback is.
Exactly.
I'll pile on top of what Maddox's saying and what Gabe said. I think Allen Robinson. But I think especially if Foles is there, I could see Robinson having a wide receiver type year, wide receiver 1 type year, and really exploding with, I think, probably 10 plus touchdowns. Don't know about the yards, but Foles likes to sling and Robinson to go up and get a type receiver.
Whoever the Bears tight end as well, because Foles does love the tight end as well.
Yeah, if they got tonight, so we'll see.
Next team on the list, the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, man.
They talk about them, just personally.
Yeah.
It's a bad
Not even an Eagles fan. I don't like them either.
I mean,
I'll start with this one. I'm gonna have to go with CeeDee Lamb. As a Amari Cooper owner last year, I saw the fluidity of the Dallas wide receiver situation, and I could see Cooper bursting onto the scene, Lamb bursting onto the scene and taking away some of Cooper's targets, because even though wide receivers aren't really typically like insane their rookie years, it's more of a second year, third year type thing. I could see Lamb really being a factor down the stretch in someone's fantasy playoffs, where they're leaning on him more as they're trying to rest Cooper for the playoffs.
As much as it kills me to say this, I got to go with Dak. I think with another weapon, he could take that next step if he chooses to be good. We'll see how it goes, though.
Might still be a contract year for him. We'll see, if they ever do this deal.
Yeah. For me, it's an obvious one. He's going to continue to be top 2 running back in the league, Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, there's no way to contain him. He's always going to get 20 fantasy point game in a PPR league. It's just you can't stop him. It's like a McCaffrey.
I think with all the weapons the Cowboys have, someone's going to go unnoticed and have a very solid season. It's going to be Blake Jarwin. Tight end, Witten's gone now. He's the top man. I think with the 9 weapons we've named, they've just got another option over the middle for the easy first downs and in the red zone.
Before we move on, are we going with underrated or guys we think are gonna have big years? I'm not
A
entirely.
little bit
It's
of
a bit of
both.
each.
It's a bit of
Bit
each.
of each.
Okay.
Whatever we can mess up with some of these teams.
Yeah, because I'm
Every team
sticking
has a lot
with
of fantasy relevance.
I'm sticking with breakout underrated guys. I'm not really leaning towards the established guys, quote unquote.
Well, here's a team to find anything with. The good old Detroit Lions.
Man,
I
Yeah.
don't even have much to say about. And I know we don't want to say the obvious ones, but Stafford's got to pick it up.
yeah,
He's-
I gotta
He's a
go.
good, he's
he
a good
stays healthy.
quarterback. Yeah, he's a good quarterback. I'm not saying he's a bad one, but he's got to take it to the next level, get them to the playoffs, show that they're
He also
there.
has to be healthy.
Yeah, he did have injury problems last year, so hopefully he's recovered
Personally,
well.
I think with a healthy Stafford, he can be a top 10 fantasy QB next year.
Yeah, every year it's slept on. I just think it's time for him to show that we're wrong and he's a good quarterback.
I mean, he's been a top 10 quarterback. Just it's that week to week. There's guys that finish in top 10, but they'll kill you for 2 weeks when you need them the most.
Yeah.
personally, just because the fact I traded for him last year. Thank you, Austin. Kenny Galladay. Early season trade for Galladay, and it worked out very well in my favor.
I'm gonna go with a bit of a sleeper, in my opinion. I mean, I know Kerryon Johnson is there, but if you draft a guy like DeAndre Swift in the second round, he's gonna get carries. I think he takes over the lead back role by mid-season, if not earlier. I mean, the guy was a monster at Georgia, and I think he's going to be really good in the NFL too, and take over that Detroit backfield sooner rather than later.
The only reason that I don't think that's a bold one, but it's not too bold because Kerryon is coming back off a knee injury, so we know that can curse a running back. So hopefully he's fine. But yeah, I kind of agree with you that Swift will take over that running backfield.
And we know how much Matt Patricia loves to run the ball for no reason when he has Stafford.
Yep.
Sticking with the division, the team that's been in the news a lot lately, the Packers.
It's got to be. I don't even know to pinpoint, but it's going to be one of those secondary receivers once again. You see
Lazard, baby.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is just the guy who can mix anyone in the game plan. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Geronimo Allison.
Yes.
I don't think he's there anymore, right?
I think I don't think Valdez.
I don't know if they're still there, but I'm just saying guys like that who
Valdez-Scantling's
throw the ball to. He doesn't care who it is.
Yeah, we got to research our Matic on this.
Scantling is there. I see nothing on Geronimo Allison though.
Okay.
And here's my Packers player that we're going to see because everyone forgets about him. He was very good in Carolina, and he was just injured last year. It's Devin Funchess.
Oh, that's a good pick.
Good one.
Definitely a good pick. I'm going to have to stick with the wideouts here. I'm going to go with Lazard. I mean, you earn Aaron Rodgers' trust down the stretch. I think you're going to have a big year. The guy has the frame, tall, fast wide receiver. I think he's going to make a great compliment for Devontae Adams as the X receiver to Devontae Adams.
Actually, Geronimo Allison is a Lion. That's actually something that's not terrible to look at with the help Stafford needs to going back a team.
Yeah.
Interesting.
If we're talking about fantasy wise, I'm going to go with that defense. That defense I think they were very underrated last year.
I think Ikuda's going to be a big help.
They also traded everyone.
They had their good games, for sure.
Next to a good team, the LA Rams.
I'll start with this one, and I guess you could see a pattern with me. I'm gonna go with another running back, Cam Akers. I mean, yes, you have other guys that have been there, but Cam Akers was an explosive player at Florida State. Injuries sometimes derailed him. Those bad Florida State teams sometimes derailed him. What it was more of, I don't exactly know. You could make an argument for both, in my opinion, but Akers is an explosive back. I think he gives the receiving ability that McVay wants to use in his offense. And through that, I could see him having a decent year, being not necessarily an RB1, but an RB2 level flex guy that could win you some weeks down the stretch again.
I mean, stick with my little quarterback thing of, they can't get much worse is Jared Goff. I thought he really held his own, getting the team to Super Bowl, and then just kind of dropped off this season. I think we see the Rams offense kind of get back to its best, and he's going to be taking care of that.
I'm going to agree with Maddox. That was my guy of choice. He has the weapons he needs. Scored 3 points in the Super Bowl and dropped off. He needs that running game back because when Gurley was on, the team was electric. I mean, they made it to the Super Bowl. How much farther can you get?
Winning Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with maybe Cooper Kupp. I could totally see him making another big jump forward this year, being the new wide receiver 1 for the team.
Shout out the defense because it is pretty good.
Yes, Aaron Donald carries it.
Donald, yeah.
Jalen Ramsey's there, I still believe, right?
Yeah, he's still there.
Getting a little washed.
Going back up north, the Vikings.
I'm going to go out and say Justin Jefferson.
Ooh.
I can see Cousins isn't a bad quarterback, so I can see Jefferson getting targets from him, getting those catches, getting those yards. I mean, he was good in college, so I can see it translating, especially in the NFC North.
I think we'll play like Diggs does.
Mm-hmm.
I will go next.
Packers.
As a sleeper pick, sticking with my theme here, I'm going to go with Alexander Madison. One, because he was a good running back when he got the touches last year as a backup. And in my opinion, he's the number one handcuff to have in fantasy football because of the way the Vikings like to lean on their run game and how many carries Dalvin Cook gets. With Cook being pseudo injury prone, you have to remember he hasn't finished a full professional season to date. Madison could step in whether that Cook injury happens mid-season, late season, early season. Madison will step up and will basically be an RB1 with the workload he's getting in Minnesota.
Yeah, my guy is Kyle Rudolph. I know I've had multiple experiences with having him in fantasy. And a few years ago, I finally gave up on him because he's just doesn't get the points that you need. But I think this year he'll get back into it. I think he'll be back into a top 5 conversation for tight ends.
I'm just going to go with the Vikings defense. I think it's a year they're going to step up and they're just going to keep a lockdown defensively and keep not force Kirk Cousins in the offense have to score 40 points a game to win their games.
Hopefully.
Okay. The New Orleans Saints. I'm going to start this one. This is going to be interesting. If you're playing ESPN Fantasy, they have made Taysom Hill a tight end technically. I think I am desperate for a player. Let's just throw it a shot because this could be the game where he has a catch for a touchdown. He might throw for one, force a fumble and score on a kickoff or a punt. I think you could just throw him in there and pray for something, and it might just happen the way they use him.
Yeah, on that point, I would never put him in my starting lineup unless I needed a player. It's a great concept. I like how he can play quarterback and flex or tight end. I like it, but it's just not for me. My guy, I know I'm staying basic, but Drew Brees, his final years are coming, or he's in them, and he deserves one more Super Bowl run. I think this could be a year he gets it.
They're gonna need to throw the ball in that tough division.
Yep.
Yeah. Is Jared Cook still on the team?
I believe so. Let's find out.
Our researcher Matic back at it again.
Yep.
Thank
Jared
you.
Cook, number 87 tight end, the New Orleans Saints.
I can see him take another step forward, especially with another year playing with Drew Brees and all those receivers. He can get open more, and I can just see him being a top 5 fantasy tight end this year.
I think he can improve. I have his stats right here. 43 catches, 705 yards, and 9 touchdowns is very solid from a tight end.
Yeah,
I
he
think
got
can
his
improve on that even
yards.
Yeah,
He
I
got
could
his
I
yards.
could see those numbers improving for him.
Mm-hmm.
But for my guy, I'm gonna have to go with Emmanuel Sanders because the Saints have been looking for a number 2 wideout for a while. Obviously, you have Michael Thomas on one side for the Saints. That's going to draw all the attention
His best friend.
there. I think Emmanuel Sanders really gives the Saints what they've been lacking at the number 2 spot with a possession guy that can win some battles deep down the field. Really, I think it's going to open up more lanes for Kamara, more lanes for Taysom Hill, and essentially make the Saints that Super Bowl contender that Austin sees them being.
Next up, let's head to New York, the Giants. God.
He talk about the NFC East. It's not
I
the
don't know.
Eagles.
Personally, I have a rule that I refrain from drafting in the NFC East unless it's a Giants running back. Back in the day, I used to always grab Rashad Jennings because he was just great, or Brandon Jacobs back in the day. I'm going to just have to say Daniel Jones because, once again, I mean, he's got the keys. He will improve on what he did, or the Giants are going to lose 13 games.
They'll still lose 13 games. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, Jones isn't good. I will get out in front of that. I'll take
quick
that flag.
debate. Is he better than Haskins?
No.
Ooh.
No.
They both don't have any future in football.
That's false.
Last year.
No, Dwayne Haskins is going to be a good quarterback.
That's it.
I don't know. I can't see that happening.
I don't know, man. Haskins had his flashes. I mean, Jones had his flashes too, but I like Haskins' chances better in Washington, better than Jones.
I guess really, if Jones isn't having a good year or something again, Saquon's just got to double up for something, put the team on his back even more than he already is.
I think Saquon gets injured this year. Personally, I don't think he could just keep given such a workload that eventually just falls.
We saw Le'Veon do it. He didn't get hurt that year. Surprisingly, he had like 400 touches.
Every other year he got hurt.
Yeah.
I'll go out and say Darius Slayton, big Auburn guy.
It's a good one.
He had flashes. Last year he looked very good. He could definitely be a wide receiver 2 in fantasy this year.
One more name, just because ability and if he's healthy, is Evan Ingram.
Ooh.
Solid tight end.
Yeah. I need to step it back up.
I mean, looking at the Giants roster, I mean, for fantasy purposes, I think Barkley's going to have a great year if the Giants are going to go anywhere, which I don't really see them going anywhere in that division. But I still expect
Shepard there. Shepard on the team.
Yeah. I still expect Barkley to have a great year, put up RB1 numbers, top 10 finish.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing out of the ordinary, but still an RB1 finish.
Okay, let's go to what we actually want to talk about now. Let's go to good old Philly.
I said it last week. I'll say it again. Miles Sanders. I think he could be really good being the running back 1 for the team, especially with more weapons for Carson Wentz. He can catch the ball in the backfield. He's a good, heavy running back. I can see him easily having 1,000 yards this year.
I'm gonna
I'm
have to
going to
agree
piggyback
with
on
Gabe there
you, Pop.
because I see Miles Sanders taking a huge step forward. I'll get out in front of it and say, being bold prediction, I think Miles Sanders is a top 5 running back this year.
Fantasy-wise or
Fantasy-wise, he will finish top 5 this year.
okay.
I think Sanders is that good. I think he was drafted to be that good. He showed huge flashes down the stretch last year for Philly. And with a full workload, I feel like you could see a Kamara type level running, receiving threat.
So you're calling him like a top 2, top 3 round draft pick?
Not necessarily, because early in the season he's not going to get that workload, but by the end of the season, I think he'll have the numbers and everyone will look back like, okay, for the next season, he is a top 2, top 3 round pick.
Interesting.
I'm going to go with Goddard. I think one of you said it last week that Ertz is going to have a lower type year. So yeah, I think Wentz loves his receivers. So yeah, definitely, I'm going to rock with Goddard.
I'm going to give a bold prediction. I know Gabe's just going to absolutely hate it.
It's going to be Rager.
Alshon Jeffrey will play the season for the Eagles and have a good season as wide receiver.
Do you want to say his name correctly if you're going to say it?
I have not been able to say his name long as
Alshon.
Alshon. Sounds like you're slurring your words.
And have a good season.
Maybe. He's played
Okay, let's go to a Super Bowl finisher, the San Francisco 49ers.
I'll start with that. I think Tevin Coleman. Tevin Coleman's going to have a really good year. But then again, it's like playing roulette with running backs in San Francisco, a la Belichick in the Tom Brady era.
Exactly.
And it's just, I'm saying Tevin Coleman. I could say Tevin Coleman's going to have X amount of yards and Y amount of touchdowns. I could be spot on. I could be terribly wrong in both directions. But I'm essentially throwing a name out there because I think really one of these running backs is going to have a great year. It's just very hard to pinpoint what one. Because I think Mostert had the year last year. Who knows who it's going to be this year?
I think Deebo Samuel. I think he had a pretty great year. Good enough as a rookie. Last year, he's got his chemistry down enough to the point where they can take it to the next level and get back to that Super Bowl run.
I like it. I'm going to go with Jimmy G. I think they're actually going to fill the ball a bit more this year and not multi hand every play. I think teams are going to be dedicated to stopping the run game that is just absolutely killing it in San Francisco, and they're going to let them sling it and just go for it a little bit more.
I'll say same thing I did with the Packers. I'm going to go with the defense. They were that front four is just unstoppable. They're tough to contain. Nick Bosa's second year, he's going to be really good, I feel like.
Next, we stay in the division. We're heading to Seattle.
I'll start this one. I could see DK Metcalf taking a big step forward this year.
Yeah,
that would be
I was going to say.
Top 10, top 15 fantasy receiver.
100%.
Yeah, I 100% agree with Gabe. That was my guy. So,
whoever the starting running back is that stays healthy. There's my answer.
Dude, that's very safe. Either Carson or Penny.
Yes, whichever one can stay healthy for more games will be the better running back.
I don't know. They like to flip them in and out, though. So
I know for a fact I'm going to stay away from that. That kind of started.
I love Chris Carson too. I love him.
Same.
He's very good.
It started my downward slide.
Back at the ball again.
It started my downward slide in fantasy when Penny started coming onto the scene. But with the Seahawks, going to go with Tyler Lockett if he can stay on the field. Think he's a top 20 wide receiver. Wilson loves throwing the ball. You saw the type of plays he can make, especially that toe drag in the back corner of the end zone. Beautiful catch, showcasing all the skills he possesses as a wide receiver. And if he's able to string it together, stay on the field, avoid huge hits, I think the Seahawks have a great 1-2 combo in Metcalf and Lockett.
Let's head to the Super Bowl contenders now, because they made a couple moves. Tampa Bay. Austin's been waiting for this one.
They got a lot of guys there. I got to go Gronk. I mean, how is he going to return? Him and Brady still got it, assuming they do, because they did a lot of great things together. Can he stay healthy, and how will he fit into the system, assuming Arians and Brady work together and make some changes and all that?
Do you guys remember when Brady first got Randy Moss and how Brady
A
shattered
long time ago.
every single record when he had Moss? Maybe not to that extent this year.
That was like back in his prime year, so let's not forget about that.
Yes, but remember, not to that extent, essentially. But Mike Evans is going to have a fantastic year. We were talking about Gronk, right? As, Gronk's gonna have this great season. Mike Evans is Gronk at the wide receiver position. He has the speed, the height, the jump ball ability. Brady's going to fall in love with him as his number one target. Yes, Gronk is going to have the receptions too. But Evans is going to have that breakout year that we all expect from him when he's been up and down because of Jameis Winston's inconsistent play. By having Brady in Tampa, you're going to see a completely rejuvenated and locked in Mike Evans.
I'm going to have to go with Gronk here. Just like coming back, playing with Brady again, new scene, new coach. I could see him being top 5 fantasy tight end this year.
It's Gronk's place to be. I mean, he's got the beach, he's got the bars, the sun. I mean,
the only good place for him would be Miami.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm going to go a sleeper, a little bit of prediction, a little bit of boldness. Give me 3rd round pick Keyshawn Vaughn.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I don't think Ronald Jones has the ability to cut it out, make the cut in Tampa Bay. I think we're going to see Vaughn take that job and just run with it because, Brady will not throw the ball every play.
What if it was little check down passes?
Yeah. What he loves.
Here we go. Washington Redskins.
Haskins. I love him. I'm ready for him to have a good year, bounce back a little bit, start a little rough, especially after not being out there on his first win on the final kneel. But I think it's his turn. It's his turn to go.
I don't know. I don't want to say Terry McLaurin, but I guess I will. I could see him with a full season of Haskins, one QB playing with now. I could see him take another step.
I'm going to have to rock with Darius Geis, LSU guy, my favorite college football school. I think coming back from a knee injury, yes, he's had 2 knee injuries past 2 years, but Frank Gore also had 2 knee injuries in his first 2 years. But Frank Gore
is also a beast.
Frank Gore has carved out an amazing career. I think, guys, you start to see that beginning of that amazing career for him where he explodes onto the scene and gives Haskins that run game that allows him to open it up for McLaurin and the other Redskins weapons down the stretch.
This might be the boldest one I've said so far. This is the year Jordan Reed is healthy.
Shut up, dude. It's never going to happen.
It hasn't happened yet. I mean, I don't know why you're still waiting.
Why do they still have him? Like, they're
Because
wasting their time and money.
He is a top 7. When he is healthy,
he is not. Not anymore. Not anymore. He's
been
done
too much. Had too many concussions.
Dude's taking too many blows to the head.
It's time for him to get out of the league. Fair enough.
Hot take, I
The
guess.
most, we're on to the most explosive offense, in my opinion, the Baltimore Ravens.
I take
And-
myself out of this one.
I'll repeat my sentiment from last week. I think that J.K. Dobbins can have a great year. I think he's going to take over for Ingram down the stretch. I think Ingram's getting a little bit up there in age. Running backs, their late 20s, early 30s aren't really as explosive, as agile as when they're in their young 20s. And Dobbins is right there. Slide right in for Ingram, and you're going to see an explosive year out of him right out of the gate as a running mate for Lamar Jackson.
Okay, just because I just want to ask the question, just 'cause we're on the topic. Kane, how much does it hurt you the fact that one of your favorite college players is on your least favorite team now?
Sucks because I wanted the Steelers to draft him as well. Not only because I love Dobbins, I just think we should just brought him in. I think he's a great player. He's gonna do great things in that passing game as well as the run game. It's gonna suck to see him go against the Steelers.
It's gonna suck to see him succeed, huh?
What?
It's gonna
I'll be
suck to see him
choosing-
succeed.
Yeah.
I'll be taking Hollywood Brown. I think deep threat opens up the field. I think we're going to see him do a little more in between the numbers and not everything over the top. And he's going to start racking up the catches and the numbers.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go with Marquise Brown there. Playing a simple, fast guy. He can beat you down the field. Got strong arm Lamar Jackson when he chooses to throw instead of run. I think he'll be really good next year.
Team that I believe will be winning the AFC East this year, the Buffalo Bills.
Stephon Diggs. He's going to go there. He's going to help bring them back to the playoffs. I agree with you. They're going to win that division. And, yeah, I think he's going to take over the number one slot as much as I like John Brown, Cole Beasley. It's Diggs' time to shine.
Give me Devin Singletary. I like to see him take another step forward this year.
Giant step.
Yeah. Giant. Just simple. I could just see him being better running back this year than he was last year.
I'm going to go with Kane's running mate. Give me John Brown. I thought he was fantastic last year. I think with Diggs being a distraction now, he can have a year just as good or better.
Call me crazy, but I think this may be a make or break year for Josh Allen.
I think he's locked in.
He's fine.
You have the weapons surrounding him. You have the defense. It's time to make a run. Yes, he's young, so it probably isn't a quote-unquote make or break year. But if you don't see a giant step forward from him this year, you're going to see competition brought in for Allen next year. And honestly, I think he does take that step. He has the talent. He needed another weapon, and Diggs is going to be that weapon for him. And I really see Josh Allen being a top 15 quarterback in fantasy this year.
Interesting.
Let's head over to Joe Burrow and company.
Tyler Boyd.
AJ Green. You got it, Gabe.
Yeah, I'll go first. Tyler Boyd, he's my guy last year in the championship. My other league, actually, he was clutch. Put up like 35 points, fantasy wise. I could see him, especially with an actual better than average QB and Joe Burrow this year, and AJ Green. I could see him getting a lot more targets, a lot more catches, a lot more yards, a lot more touchdowns. 1,000-yard receiving season.
I'm going to go with AJ Green. I think Burrow being there is good. New quarterback. It's just all up to if he's going to stay healthy or not, because it's been his curse for the past few seasons. And I think if he stays healthy, he's going to have a great year, and we'll see him back in the Pro Bowl.
I guess we're going to have a common theme with this team preview. I'm going to go with T. Higgins as a sleeper. Now, yes, Tyler Boyd is there. Yes, AJ Green is there. But AJ Green has been injury prone is also 31 years old. Tyler Boyd has been susceptible to injuries, and he's not old, but I think he's more of a 2 instead of a 1. I think T. Higgins could, with working with Joe Burrow, could slide in as maybe not the 1 this year, but definitely the 1 for years to come. But we'll still have that rapport with Burrow where he's going to get a lot of targets and put up some. I would assume wide receiver 3 numbers, maybe a flex spot numbers, but still do enough for your team to be like, you know what, this guy deserves a spot in my lineup. I'm still going to play him.
This is a good little prediction of mine. Give me the Bengals defense as a top 12 defense in the NFL this year. They're going to play a lot of bad teams. As much as, Joe Burrow's the headline, they brought in a lot of guys to overtake this defense. And now I'm not saying play them when the Ravens are coming to town, but I think the Bengals are going to have 7-8 matchups that are going to be favorable for you to stream them for.
It's old there.
Stay right there, and we're going to go to Cleveland.
Will
this be the year Cleveland does something?
Baker. It all depends on Baker.
Yeah,
I could see him taking that step forward that he needs to, have 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, and maybe lead to like a wild card.
Yeah, I think it's going to be OBJ this year. He fell back a little bit this past season. I think he's going to get a good amount of targets. They're going to get their chemistry a little bit better. And I do think it's the year that they can find themselves in the playoff race at the end of the season.
You guys –
I'm going to take
Matt, you go.
I'm going to take the tight end, Hooper. I think they paid him a good amount of money. I think he was a solid tight end in Atlanta. I think he's just going to keep it going. I see him as a top 8 tight end in the league.
He's been my guy for forever in fantasy.
Yeah, he has. Doctors, finish us out here, bud.
You guys see it, the offense revolving around the pass. I see it revolving around Nick Chubb in the run game. I think where Nick Chubb goes, this offense goes, because your passing game with Mayfield's going to be built off of what Chubb does. And I think Chubb has an amazing year. And I think Cleveland earns a wild card berth this season. They don't win the division because Baltimore would be too good, but they definitely win the wild card.
Okay, let's head right here. We're going to Denver, people. Gabe, reiterate yourself.
I said it last week. I'll say it again. I'll say it all throughout the season. He's gonna be my guy this year. It's gonna be Drew Lock. He's got plenty of weapons this year. I can see him fantasy-wise being just like Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Get a couple games his rookie season, just absolutely break out his sophomore season. I could totally see that happening. Being top 3 quarterback in fantasy this year.
Okay. I hate to say it, but and as much as like the running backs, that whole room is real Royce Freeman, Phillip Lindsay, and Melvin Gordon. I'm rocking with Melvin Gordon. I think he's going to be the clear-cut number 1 running back in that backfield as the season goes. And I think Drew Lock's going to grow, but he's only going to grow as the run game does because he needs something to bounce off of.
I'm going to have to go with Gabe here. I really think Drew Lock is going to take a giant step forward. I mean, he showed it last year, and he really didn't have that much to work with. And look at the additions that have been put around him. You got Judy, Hamler. You still have Sutton. You have all these weapons to help Lock. Essentially, it's like saying to Drew Lock, "Here you go, bud. Here's your playground. Here are all the toys. Go have fun."
Pretty much.
I got 2 guys. First off, I think Noah Fant's going to have an exceptional season by his own standards. And then secondly, the defense. Von Miller. There we go. Let's go to the stupidest team in the NFL offseason. Houston Texans.
Can we just skip this one? Okay, but in all seriousness, it has to be Watson. I mean, where Watson goes, this team goes. I mean, who else are you really gonna say? I mean,
Brandon Cooks and Will Fuller.
His wide receiver is going to be hurt half the year. We know
They're
that.
made of glass.
He has no offensive line. The dude's going to be running for his life. Honestly, one shocking by the end of this year, he requests a trade to get out of there. Simple as that.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's no one else you can say.
Who's running the ball? Is what, Lamar Miller getting back?
David Johnson.
David Johnson.
Yeah. God, this team went from probably winning the AFC South to just absolute idiocracy with one trade.
I know this is the fantasy show, but what is Bill O'Brien doing? Can someone please just give me
That's next.
something?
That's next episode. We'll be here for an hour and a half.
Just give me something, man.
Okay, we're gonna go. We're just gonna go to the next team, the AFC South.
I didn't say a name, man.
Oh, I thought we were just going with them because how stupid they are.
Saying
There's a
something
name
besides
left for you to
Watson.
say?
Oh yes, my name is gonna be. I'm gonna say is David Johnson.
Oh my God.
Oh,
I could see him.
I agree.
I could see it being a running back too this year, fantasy. Just easily put up upwards of 750 yards and 6-7 touchdowns.
I don't
Like
see
you
it.
guys said, he has no receivers, so they're going to need a run game. So he's going to get the carries, and I agree with Gabe. It'll at least be a flex play.
Oh, we'll see. Or we'll be dead by week 3. Let's stay in the division. Let's head down to Indy.
Philip.
My guy. Love Phillip Rivers more than life itself.
It's going to be his last season, 1-year contract. He's got his job lined up for after playing. He deserves a shot at the Super Bowl because he is a Hall of Fame quarterback. And this is where he's going to get it. I think it's his last try.
I'm going to have to go with pretty much, I guess, my guess for comeback player of the year, T.Y. Hilton. I think he can easily have 1,000 yards. Could have 100 receptions, 12 touchdowns. He could be that guy, especially with Phillip Rivers on the ball, not Jacoby Brissett.
I think with him being on his last year of his contract, probably not coming back, I think we could see Marlon Mack get ran into the ground this year. Yes, they drafted Jonathan Taylor. I'm aware of that. But with it being a contract year and Taylor just getting drafted, you're going to see Mack get a lot of carries early on and throughout the year to essentially the wheels fall off of him, or he has or until he has his best season to date.
In my personal opinion, I just don't trust Marlon Mack as running back. I think he's good in some games, just awful in others. I'm personally choosing Jonathan Taylor. I think he's just going to outplay Mack and take the starting job and be an all-around great running back. I think he takes even some of Hines' catches out of the backfield as well.
I could easily see that too.
All right, man. I see man, Matic.
Go to Jacksonville, one of our favorite teams.
Gardner Goat. Gotta go.
I don't even know to say for them.
It's got to be Fournette. It has to be Fournette for me.
It's all they got.
Fournette, on the fact, he's actually still on the roster by one.
That is a good point. That is a very good point. You got to remember, we're still so far out from NFL season, training camp, and preseason can still change a lot.
Hopefully they happen.
By the time this is posted, he could be somewhere else.
I'm saying Gardner Minshew. He's a goat.
They gave him the job. They said Foles isn't worth the money.
Yep.
Here you go. Make something happen with it.
Who we got next?
Super Bowl champions.
Chiefs, baby. Give me Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
That's what I was going to say.
Boom.
Boom.
Nice running back to complement that already explosive offense. He's so good. He's fast. He's tough. He's almost impossible to break down. I remember watching his games last year, and he's just and he's also one guy that just wants to play. Like, he wanted to play in the game against Oklahoma, even though he was hurt.
Do you think he's an RB1 this year, though?
RB2.
I think
Yeah.
he's on that borderline because of the way the Chiefs are going to use him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for me, it has to be Allaire too. I mean, he's going to be a weapon for them, another one in Mahomes' arsenal, which I think is unmatched by anyone else in this league. And it's going to be fun to watch him do a bunch of different things, a la Brian Westbrook in the early 2000s Andy Reid offense.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. You guys basically pinpointed all the reasons why, but yeah.
I mean, basically, the Chiefs' offense is known. If you're playing fantasy football, you know exactly who your target team. Defense every week, but I think it's going to clamp down just a little bit this year. I think it's got some potential to make some moves, and they won't rely on Pat Mahomes to have to score 50 a game.
He still will, though.
I don't know. I just remember. Do you guys remember the 2 years ago, the Chiefs Rams game that was like 56-48 or whatever?
Yep.
That was
insane.
electric.
I'm saying there were 2 Chiefs defensive touchdowns that game. Headed back to LA, this time with the Chargers.
Eckler finally got the backfield to himself. He's going to get the ball a lot. He's going to be an RB1 in fantasy. He's going to be a top 10 running back this year. I'm ready to see it. I'm all for it.
Yeah, give me Eckler. For the same reason, just gives him back, then I can do whatever he wants.
I will take Mike Williams. I think Mike Williams explodes onto the scene. Huge year. Especially if Herbert gets into the starting lineup. Oh, that is just a match made in heaven. Herbert's arm strength with Mike Williams' jump ball ability. Oh, I personally really want to see that this year.
You think Herbert's going to end up in the starting role?
By midseason, yes. Seeing Herbert in that sleek new Chargers uniform that I love so much. I think Mike Williams.
I love it.
I think Mike Williams is going to be great, honestly, this year. Expect a top 15 finish from him.
You guys ready for this one? Justin Herbert will be the best rookie quarterback this season.
Ooh, hot take alert. Woo!
Justin Herbert is in the best offense, the best work. He has all the tools he needs to make it work with Eckler, Keenan Allen, Hunter Henry, and whoever it is. He will be the best quarterback this season as a rookie.
Did you just say he's in the best offense?
Wow.
He's in the best offense out of the top 3 rookie quarterbacks.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I kind of like.
I like Burrow. I love Mixon this year.
Yeah.
Not only because he's going to be my keeper, but I think he is going to be a great player.
Yeah.
And they got the weapons.
Chargers have a chance to be a wild card team. I don't think the Bengals.
I agree with that. Chargers have the defense with Derwin.
Exactly.
Justin Herbert do have a very underrated defense.
Justin Herbert, offensive rookie of the year. You heard it here first.
Oh man.
That's
oh
bold.
man. Maddox just shooting the hot takes out. Golly.
Sticking with the rookie quarterbacks, let's go to Tua. Tua and friends in Miami.
It's going to be Tua.
Yeah.
That's got to be Tua. I mean, if he's not in the starting lineup by week 3, I think it's
a wash.
Well, what are you doing?
Where's Josh Rosen at this point? Is he still there?
He's still there.
He's not playing. His career's over.
Is Fitzpatrick the backup and he's the third string?
Yeah. I'll tell you guys something. I thought
went to shit.
I think he still has a chance to be good in this league. He's been in 2 shit situations.
All right, let's keep it PG-13 here, guys.
Yeah. Both of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, all right.
It says on YouTube it's not for kids. We're okay.
If you guys are still watching, just cut that out. You heard nothing.
Yeah. He was healthy. He's definitely.
How about Mike Gesicki?
Okay.
He's taking a giant leap forward this year.
Yeah.
It's doable.
I don't know.
Who's next?
Who Who's running the ball for them? I honestly have no clue.
DeAndre Swift, right? No, he's in.
Who just signed with them?
Detroit.
Breida.
Breida. They traded for
Yes.
Breida.
Breida can be a top running back. That's another one I would choose.
I don't know about that.
We'll see. Who's next?
Who's next?
Okay, let's head to New England.
Jarrett Stidham, baby. The GOAT.
No, I don't see it.
No. Nah.
Edelman still there?
Edelman's still there.
I feel bad.
Be honest. Do we really see anything out of the Patriots offense this year?
Not
Jarrett
a
Stidham, that's
thing.
what I see.
Whoever's running the ball, the dude out of South Carolina, what's his name? Dude out of Georgia, what's his name? Running back.
Sony Michel.
Sonny Michel? He has
Yeah,
knee
him.
issues. He has knee issues.
They still got James White too.
They're done.
I don't.
I'm happy to say they are over. The only thing good about them is their
You
defense.
can't just take him out completely.
I know. I don't want to write off Belichick because you can't. Maybe they'll be
Can't
a
do
wild
it.
card team. They're not winning the division.
I'm gonna have to go with Stidham. Stidham's really the only one I see worthwhile in fantasy currently, because you're not gonna know the value of anybody else on that team until you see the quarterback play. That's just the truth.
I'm going to take N'Keal Harry. I think it's doable. He's got the size and the body that Belichick drafted him for. He had some injury issues. I feel like he worked all offseason or not all offseason, but during second team reps to Stidham last year. I think they're going to form a nice little connection.
How many teams you got?
I think four more.
That's
go
rapid
to the
fire,
worst-
baby.
Let's go to the worst team in the AFC East, New York Jets.
Wow.
Okay.
I'll still take the Patriots over the Jets because I think that Sam Darnold is still seeing ghosts after last year.
Okay. We're not gonna get in this. This is the fantasy podcast, my friend.
I will take Sam Darnold as a guy who's gonna take a big leap forward. I can just see it.
Me too. I
They
don't
gave
think.
Levy on the line.
Yeah, I don't think he will, but I think he has to. This is one of those Josh Allen type make or breaker deals, but even worse because Darnold has done absolutely nothing. And yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Brandon's reactions say it all. What do you got for us, Packers? Give us your take on the Jets player who have the best fantasy season this year.
I'm gonna keep my Darnold opinions to myself because I will literally turn into a flaming ball of fire. So
not good.
We don't have time for that, so just give us your quick take on a Jets player that'll do well in fantasy.
Denzel Mims. Denzel Mims is gonna have a great year with Darnold, but you could argue that for any of the guys. I mean, for me, it's either Mims or Herndon. Herndon's been Darnold's favorite target too. From the games they've played, and he's dominated in the games he's been healthy for. So between Mims or Herndon, you're gonna see a big, fast target be Darnold's favorite this year.
Okay. Very simple. They gave Levy on a line. I think it works out finally. Let's head to Sin City. The Raiders.
Henry Ruggs.
Yeah.
I think with Mariota throwing him the ball, hopefully Mariota.
God.
See him.
I think it's Carr's job for now, but
Yeah, it's still Derek Carr's job at the moment.
very possible.
We'll see once.
I think that's going to be
season
more of
starts.
a competition than people really think it's going to be.
It has to be.
I think Carr has the edge at the moment, but Mariota comes into camp hot. Might see someone else starting week one.
Yeah.
Give me Josh Jacobs. I think Josh Jacobs has a top 10 finish this year. I feel like I've said that for a few guys, but I'm really expecting a lot out of him this year, considering where he was drafted and the talent he had at Alabama back when he was in college.
I'm gonna have to agree with you. Jacobs had a pretty great rookie season. I think he's just gonna grow and add to that. And I agree with you. He will be a top 10 running back this year.
From the Sin City to the Steel City, Pittsburgh.
Said it once, I said it twice, 3 times, however many times it takes. Ben Roethlisberger going to be the comeback football player, comeback player of the year in the NFL and fantasy. That's all I have to say.
I'm gonna take a different route from you, Austin. I think Roethlisberger has potential for comeback player of the year, but this offense is make or break depending on if James Conner stays healthy. Personally, with a guy coming off Tommy John, I don't want him throwing the ball 400 times this year. Do I still think he can have a great season? Yes. But if you don't have the run game supported by James Conner to take some of that load off his arm, you're looking at an end to Ben Roethlisberger's career a lot sooner than most Steelers fans want it.
He only has a couple years left. It's not like he's going to be playing for another 5-6 years.
Exactly.
He's got 2 years on the contract. Hopefully he's here for both of them.
I'm just going to take the defense. It's exceptional. I hate to say it because I don't like seeing Kane happy, but Steelers defense is exceptional. Minka Fitzpatrick back there. Watt. Shazier could be back sooner than later. It's deadly.
I don't think he's coming back.
I
think we're going to see it.
So I would love him to. Just like
I don't think that's a good life. I don't think that's a good life decision.
Yeah. He's an animal, but it won't happen. He'll be on the sidelines being a coach and mentor, whatever. He will not be back on the field. I want him to, but I just don't think it happens.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Juju.
Oh, that's a good one.
A better year with Ben Roethlisberger back.
Contract, yeah.
They have 1,000 yards.
Oh, it's a contract year?
It
Yes,
is.
it is.
And I personally think
That's
that's a big
big
year
year.
or he's out of here.
Big year and payday, baby. That's what I'm
Okay. Let's finish it off with the team that ended the Patriots. Tennessee Titans. And no, none of us are allowed to say Derrick Henry.
Damn.
Oh man, that's what I was gonna go with. But
Yeah,
in all honesty,
Hold on.
oh,
Let's make a statement here because it's been true, and Austin and I say it all the time. Derrick Henry does not get good until the back half of the season.
That is
That
correct.
Trade
that
for him
It's
when
the
he
Titans' fault.
100% correct. They did not give him the
He will
ball
start
enough.
off slow. His trade value will drop. Get him around week 7 and watch him take off.
It's because
That's true.
the Titans never give him the ball early on. It's because they save him for the back half of the year.
It
They were
works.
running Deion Lewis 2 years ago.
Oh,
Corey Davis can have a good year, I think.
Isn't this the contract year for him?
It might be. I think
No, he's
so,
got
actually.
another year.
Or no, he's got one more year. I think Tannehill's
How many
gonna
times a
throw
game
more
did they
than
let
we think.
Tannehill actually throw the ball?
Yeah, I think
7?
I think it's gonna be
15,
it's gonna
15.
be way more than anyone thinks. It's gonna be at least like 20, 22. It's gonna be slinging. Watch it.
I'm gonna go with AJ Brown.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just plain and simple.
that's my pick, Gabe. I'm sticking with that too. AJ Brown's gonna have a huge year. Watch it.
And like most of these teams, the defense is worth most weeks as a stream, at least certain weeks. 32 teams, a lot of players, a lot of takes. I'm Zach Maddock, Brandon Pockrass, Gabe Rena, Austin Kane. Don't forget to follow us on all social media, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We have a page. Thank you, and good night.